Isaiah, chapters 37 through 40. And it came to pass, when King Ezekias heard it, that he rent his clothes, and put on sackcloth, and went up to the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim the steward, and Somnus the scribe, and the elders of the priests clothed with sackcloth, to Isaiah the son of Amos the prophet. And they said to him, Thus says Ezekias, Today is a day of affliction, and reproach, and rebuke, and anger. For the pangs are come upon the travailing woman, but she has not strength to bring forth. May the Lord thy God hear the words of Rabsaces, who the king of the Assyrians has sent to reproach the living God, even to reproach with the words which the Lord thy God has heard. Therefore thou shalt pray to thy Lord for these that are left. So the servants of King Ezekias came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said to them, Thus shall ye say to your master, Thus saith the Lord, Be not thou afraid at the words which thou hast heard, wherewith the ambassadors of the king of the Assyrians have reproached me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a report, and return to his own country, and he shall fall by the sword in his own land. So Rabsaces returned, and found the king of the Assyrians besieging Lobnah, for he had heard that he had departed from Lachish. And Tharaka, king of the Ethiopians, went forth to attack him. And when he heard it, he turned aside, and sent messengers to Ezekias, saying, Thus shall ye say to Ezekias, the king of Judea, Let not thy God, in whom thou trustest, deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of the Assyrians. Hast thou not heard what the kings of the Assyrians have done, how they have destroyed the whole earth? And shalt thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nations which my fathers destroyed delivered them? Both Goznan, and Charan, and Raphath, which are in the land of Themath? Where are the kings of Emath? And where is the king of Arphath? And where is the king of the city of Ephraim, and of Anagugana? And Ezekias received the letter from the messengers, and read it, and went up to the house of the Lord, and opened it before the Lord. Ezekias prayed to the Lord, saying, O Lord of hosts, God of Israel, who sittest upon the cherubs, thou alone art the God of every kingdom of the world. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Incline thine ear, O Lord. Hearken, O Lord. Open thine eyes, O Lord. Look, O Lord, and behold the words of Sennacherib, which he has sent to reproach the living God. For of a truth, Lord, the kings of the Assyrians have laid waste the whole world, and the countries thereof, and have cast their idols into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone, and they have cast them away. But now, O Lord our God, deliver us from his hands, that every kingdom of the earth may know that thou art God alone. And Isaiah the son of Amos was sent to Ezekias, and said to him, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, I have heard thy prayer to me concerning Sennacherib, king of the Assyrians. This is the word which God has spoken concerning him. The virgin daughter of Sion has despised thee and mocked thee. The daughter of Jerusalem has shaken her head at thee, whom thou hast reproached and provoked, and against whom hast thou lifted up thy voice? And hast thou not lifted up thine own eyes on high against the Holy One of Israel? For thou hast reproached the Lord by messengers, for thou hast said, With the multitude of chariots have I ascended to the height of mountains, and to the sides of Libanus, and I have cropped the height of his cedars, and the beauty of its cypresses, and I entered into the height of the forest region, and I have made a bridge, and dried up the waters, and every pool of water. Hast thou not heard of these things which I did of old? I appointed them from ancient times, and now have manifested my purpose of desolating nations in their strongholds, and in the dwell in strong cities. I weakened their hands, and they withered, and they became as dry grass on housetops and as grass. But now I know thy rest, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy wrath wherewith thou hast enraged, and thy rancor has come up to me. Therefore I will put a hook in thy nose, and a bit in thy lips, and will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. And it shall be a sign to thee. Eat this year what thou hast sown, and the second year that which is left, and the third year sow, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruit of them. And they that are left in Judea shall take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem there shall be a remnant, and the saved ones out of Mount Sion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall perform this. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the king of the Assyrians, He shall not enter into this city, nor cast a weapon against it, nor bring a shield against it, nor make a rampart round it. But by the way by which he came, by it shall he return, and shall not enter into the city. Thus saith the Lord. I will protect this city to save it for my own sake, and for my servant David's sake. And the angel of the Lord went forth, and slew out of the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And they arose in the morning, and found all those bodies dead. And Sennacherib, king of the Assyrians, turned and departed, and dwelt in Nineveh. And while he was worshipping Nasarach, his country's god, in the house of Adramelech, and Sarasar, his sons, smote him with swords. And they escaped into Armenia, and Azordan, his son, reigned in his stead. And it came to pass at that time that Ezekias was sick even to death. And Esaias the prophet, the son of Amos, came to him, and said to him, Thus saith the Lord, Give orders concerning thy house, for thou shalt die and not live. And Ezekias turned his face to the wall, and prayed to the Lord, saying, Remember, O Lord, I have walked before thee in truth, with a true heart, and have done that which was pleasing in thy sight. And Ezekias wept bitterly. And the word of the Lord came to Esaias, saying, Go and say to Ezekias, Thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, and seen thy tears. Behold, I will add to thy time 15 years. And I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of the Assyrians. And I will defend this city. And this shall be a sign to thee from the Lord, that God will do this thing. Behold, I will turn back the shadow of the degrees of the dial by which 10 degrees on the house of thy father the sun has gone down. I will turn back the sun to 10 degrees. So the sun went back the 10 degrees by which the shadow had gone down. The prayer of Ezekias, king of Judah, when he had been sick, and was recovered from his sickness. I said in the end of my days, I shall go to the gates of the grave. I shall part with the remainder of my years. I said, I shall no more at all see the salvation of God in the land of the living. I shall no more at all see the salvation of Israel on the earth. I shall no more at all see man. My life has failed from among my kindred. I have parted with the remainder of my life. It has gone forth and departed from me, as one that having pitched a tent takes it down again. My breath was with me as a weaver's web, when she said that weaves draw nigh to cut off the thread. In that day I was given up to a lion until morning. So he has broken all my bones, for I was so given up from day even to night. As a swallow, so will I cry, and as a dove, so do I mourn. For mine eyes have failed with looking to the height of heaven to the Lord, who has delivered me, removed the sorrow of my soul. Yea, O Lord, for it was told thee concerning this, and thou hast revived my breath, and I am comforted and live. For thou hast chosen my soul, that it should not perish, and thou hast cast all my sins behind me. For they that are in the grave shall not praise thee. Neither shall the dead bless thee, neither shall they that are in Hades hope for thy mercy. The living shall bless thee, as I also do. From this day shall I beget children, who shall declare thy righteousness. O God of my salvation, I will not cease blessing thee with the psaltery all the days of my life before the house of God. Now Esaias said to Ezekias, Take a cake of figs, and mash them, and apply them to a plaister, and thou shalt be well. And Ezekias said, This is a sign to Ezekias, that I shall go up to the house of God. At that time Merodach-Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylonia, sent letters and ambassadors and gifts to Ezekias, for he had heard that he had been sick, even to death, and was recovered. And Ezekias was glad of their coming, and he showed them the house of his spices, and of silver, and gold, and myrrh, and incense, and ointment, and all the houses of his treasures, and all that he had in his stores. And there was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, which Ezekias did not show. And Esaias the prophet came to King Ezekias, and said to him, What say these men, and whence came they to thee? And Ezekias said, They are come to me from a land afar off, from Babylon. And Esaias said, What have they seen in thy house? And Ezekias said, They have seen everything in my house, and there is nothing in my house which they have not seen. Yea, also the possessions of my treasuries. And Esaias said to him, Hear the word of the Lord of hosts. Behold, the days come when they shall take all the things that are in thine house, and all that thy fathers have gathered until this day shall go to Babylon, and they shall not leave anything at all. And God hath said, that they shall take also of thy children whom thou shalt beget, and they shall make them eunuchs in the house of the king of the Babylonians. And Ezekias said to Esaias, Good is the word of the Lord, which he hath spoken. Let there, I pray, be peace and righteousness in my days. Comfort ye my people, saith God. Speak, ye priests, to the heart of Jerusalem. Comfort her, for her humiliation is accomplished, her sin is put away, for she has received of the Lord's hand double the amount of her sins. The voice of one crying, In the wilderness prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make straight the paths of our God. Every valley shall be filled, and every mountain and hill shall be brought low, and all the crooked ways shall become straight, and the rough places plains. And the glory of the Lord shall appear, and all flesh shall see the salvation of God, for the Lord hath spoken it. The voice of one saying, Cry. And I said, What shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the glory of man as a flower of grass. The grass withers, and the flower fades, but the word of our God abides forever. O thou that bringest glad tidings to Zion. Go up to the high mountain. Lift up thy voice with strength, thou that bringest glad tidings to Jerusalem. Lift it up. Fear not. Say unto the cities of Judah, Behold your God. Behold the Lord. The Lord is coming with strength, and his arm with power. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. He shall tend his flocks as a shepherd, and he shall gather the lambs with his arm, and shall soothe them that are with young. Who has measured the water in his hand, and the heaven with a span, and all the earth in a handful? Who has weighed a mountain in scales, and forests in a balance? Who has known the mind of the Lord, and who has been his counselor to instruct him? Or with whom has he taken counsel, and he has instructed him? Or who has taught him judgment, or who has taught him the way of understanding? Since all the nations are counted as a drop for a bucket, and as a turning of a balance, and shall it be counted as spittle? And Libanus is not enough to burn, nor all beasts enough for a whole burnt offering. And all the nations are as nothing, and counted as nothing. To whom have ye compared the Lord, and with what likeness have ye compared him? Hath not the artificer made an image, or the goldsmith, having melted gold, gilt it over, and made it a similitude? For the artificer chooses out a wood that will not rot, and will wisely inquire how he shall set up his image, and that so that it should not be moved. Will ye not know? Will ye not hear? Has it not been told of you of old? Have ye not known the foundations of the earth? It is he that comprehends the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants in it are as grasshoppers. He that set up the heaven as a chamber, and stretched it out as a tent to dwell in. He that appoints princes to rule as nothing, and has made the earth as nothing. For they shall not plant, neither shall they sow, neither shall a root be fixed in the ground. He has blown upon them, and they are withered, and a storm shall carry them away like sticks. Now then, to whom have ye compared me, that I may be exalted, saith the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high and see, who has displayed all these things, even he that brings forth his host by number. He shall call them all by name, by means of his great glory, and by the power of his might. Nothing has escaped thee. For say not thou, O Jacob, and why hast thou spoken, Israel, saying, My way is hid from God, and my God is taken away my judgment, and has departed. And now hast thou not known, hast thou not heard? The eternal God, the God that formed the ends of the earth, shall not hunger, nor be weary, and there is no searching of his understanding. He gives strength to the hungry, and sorrow to them that are not suffering. For the young men shall hunger, and the youth shall be weary, and the choice men shall be powerless. But they that wait on God shall renew their strength. They shall put forth new feathers like eagles. They shall run, and not be weary. They shall walk, and not hunger. The Epistle of St. Paul the Apostle to the Hebrews, chapter 1. God, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Who, being the brightness of his glory, the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the Majesty on high. Being made so much better than angels, as he hath by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. For unto which the angels said he at any time, Thou art my Son, this day have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a father, he shall be to me a son. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into this world, he saith, And let all the angels of God worship him. Of the angels he saith, Who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flame of fire. And unto the Son he saith, Thy throne, O God, is for ever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. Thou hast loved righteousness, and hated iniquity. Therefore God, even thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thine hands. They shall perish, but thou remainest, and they all shall wax old as doth a garment. And as a vesture shalt thou fold them up, and they shall be changed. But thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail. But which of the angels said he at any time, Sit on my right hand, until I make thine enemies thy footstool? Are they not all ministering spirits, sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation?